ready now.
I'm abiding for you.
Okay.
All right. The Board of Aldermen of the City of Brookshire will conduct a regular meeting on Thursday, October the 20th, 2022 at 7:00 p.m. in the council chambers of the Brookshire Municipal Building located at 4029 Fifth Street. Before we get started, we'd like to have a prayer. If anyone feel like they would want to give us a prayer.
Oh, Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight. With all those council members, give them the power and the strength to make the right decisions tonight, Heavenly Father. Look over this city and give them the knowledge what's best for the city. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Miss Glover, will you do the roll call for us, please?
Mayor Branch,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Branch,
Here.
Alderman Taylor,
Here.
Alderman Hill,
Present.
Alderwoman Earl,
Present.
Alderman Lansdowne.
Present. Thank you, ma'am. Chief Miller, is there a list back there for anyone signed on? Figured it had to be you. Okay, we have a gentleman named Tony McAnally would like to speak.
Mayor Branch, Council, I wanted to just give you an update on the Waller County 150th anniversary celebration. We recently had a follow-up meeting, and there's been some changes to what I reported to the council about 6 weeks ago, in which they wanted to have Brookshire kick off that event starting on April the 29th. Because of a lot of logistical things that are happening now, Hempstead is actually going to do all of the major things except for the opening of the actual time capsule on Saturday the 29th up at the county seat. So they're going to have the parade, the picnic, the barbecue, the crowning of the queen, all that stuff up in Hempstead on the 29th. So they have asked if we would move our kickoff celebration to April the 22nd. And I've spoken with a couple of folks individually, and I know that that doesn't seem like that's going to be a huge issue to make that happen. So if that's what the city wants to do, the county would very much love to have us do that and wants to support that happening down here, and as a big kickoff for the events for that basically 2-week celebration of the 150th anniversary of Waller County in 2023.
Well, since you're heading all this up,
I'm not trying to usurp anyone's authority. I just happen to be the guy that volunteered to go up to the meeting, so.
I'm pretty sure he's spearheading it, isn't he?
Yep, that's my understanding.
Just to make you
Okay, just to
aware.
make me aware, I am spearheading it.
You are
Okay, very good,
spearheading.
very
Thank you
good.
very much for the update, and
you
you
bet.
just
Carry on.
carry on.
All right, very good. I'll do that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 4, discussion and possible action regarding the use of deposit pay on city payroll checks. Mr. Hill.
It's come to my attention we're having a major issue with positive pay this week. And unless somebody can give me a good reason why we need to keep it, I think it's time to move on from positive pay. If council would like me to elaborate, I'm more than willing to, but beyond that, it's done nothing but caused issue for vendors getting checks cashed or even deposited and then the checks not cashing at that point. So I'd like to see us move away from positive pay. If it's an issue where Wells Fargo is unable to control the security and we're having that many checks that are being fraudulently replicated from our own checks, we need to find a new bank.
It wasn't only this week, it was,
In a couple,
yeah. And it's embarrassing that you walk in to do business with a vendor and the first thing they say is, the city of Brookshire's check bounced. And it's not because the lack of funds, it's because
Right.
somebody keeps on forgetting to uncheck the box.
and then also another problem is it's just not working right. You may try to, get it taken care of, and it takes, like today, yesterday and today, we worked on that and still didn't get it straight.
40 people, or 47, or 40 people, roughly 40 people were affected by this time, and I know the excuse or whatever you want to call it we had for last council meeting that this happened, that it was a fluke at the bank. And I'm at least willing to suspend this till we could have a representative come out and speak to us, and I don't want them to call us on the phone. There's somebody that can come in person and speak to us of the advantages, or if you're, I mean, I don't like positive pay. I haven't liked positive pay since every time I go to the bank, I can't cash a $92.35 check. I'd be willing to vote for, make it go away, but
Ms. Birch, I agree, we can't get a representative to come maybe for the next meeting. And after that, I think our next move is gonna be to start seeking out for possibly a new bank, if we have that many issues with Wells Fargo.
Yeah, it's a shame when the mayor can't even cash his own check. Well, any further discussion?
Sir.
I'm open for a motion.
I make a motion that we reach out to Wells Fargo for a representative to come to the meeting and explain positive pay and the failures that's been happening. And if we can't come to some kind of understanding and get it straight, that we search for another bank.
Second.
Stamps. Ms. Newendorf, your vote?
Or
Mr. Hill
4.
and Ms. Taylor.
or
Thank you.
So, Ms. Glover, in order for this to go forward, I would think that you could let Mr. Rodney
Yeah, I'll
know,
get with him.
ask Mr. Rodney to get with the mayor to make sure that
sorry.
we get a rep out here, if you don't mind, please.
Okay,
For the purpose of agenda items not being postponed indefinitely. I don't know if that's, if somebody from Wells Fargo is unwilling to meet at our next meeting, I think that would be an answer
Yes.
to move forward.
agenda item number 5, discussion and possible action regarding resolution number 1379, a resolution approving the quarterly investment report for the period ending in February 28, 2022. Once again,
Mayor and council, this has been on the agenda several times, and
Mm-hmm.
I know that the funds were not deposited in a timely manner, but they have been deposited. And I see no other solution to this problem except resolution 1379 and 1380 and move forward.
What's your motion?
Mr. Stamps says
Any
that
other-
your, he said, is that your motion? Mr. Stamps?
Unless there's any other discussion. That is my motion.
Second.
Second, Mr. Stamps. Ms. Newendorf, your vote.
4.
Mr. Hill
4.
and Ms. Taylor.
4.
Okay, motion carries. And agenda item number 6, discussion and possible action regarding resolution 1380, resolution approving the quarterly investment report for the period ending in May 31st, 2022.
Mr. Mayor, I believe Ms. Branch's motion was for both 1379 and 1380.
Should we take another vote?
I think you should take a motion in a second, just for,
Ms. Branch,
Make a motion that we accept resolution 1380.
second.
Mr. Stamps, your vote.
4.
Ms. Newendorf,
4.
and Ms. Taylor.
4.
Okay, motion carries. Agenda item number 7, discussion and possible action regarding cash acceptance policy for property tax payment. Mr. Hill.
In Mr. Barnes' absence, I think what would be most prudent on this one is to table this, to allow him to have some input on that policy, since he's going to be enforcing it on a day-to-day basis. But we do need to get a policy put together pretty soon. So
You want to table it again?
I would like to table this one.
Let's go ahead and take a vote on it as well. I need a second.
Second.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Mr. Stamps,
4.
Ms. Taylor,
4.
and Ms. Branch.
Or
Bless you.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 8, discussion and possible action regarding the minutes of the YAC and the city council being brought into conformity with the Texas Open Meeting Act. Mr. Hill.
Mayor and council, I mean, this is pretty simple. The Opens Meeting Act requires we have our minutes post online, just like we have to have our notices of meetings post online as well. We're quite a bit behind. The EDC routinely puts their minutes up, but I've noticed a pattern in both council and the Youth Action Council and Commission that there's no minutes posted. So I would like for us to direct Mr. Barnes in his role to require staff to begin a process over, say, 60 days of making sure all those minutes are recorded, brought to council for approval, because we've not approved minutes since May that I'm aware of. And we need to get those posted online.
and that's your motion is
That would be my motion.
second.
Okay, Mr. Stamps, your vote.
4.
Newendorf,
4.
and Ms. Taylor.
4.
Oh, thinking about Mr. Hill, but he's the one who made the motion. Okay. Agenda item number 9, discussion and possible action regarding resolution number 1388, a resolution authorizing the removal and replacement of the sign at Brookshire Garden. Mr. Hill.
Mayor and council, I'll take the fall for this one. I did not bring this information with me tonight, so in absence of having that, there's nothing to vote on. So if we could
No
table
action.
this till next time, please.
No action.
Yes, sir.
Agenda item number 10, discussing possible action regarding granting the mayor access to city's Wells Fargo online portal. Mr. Field.
Mayor and council, as y'all are aware, the mayor's previously not had access to just the CO portion of Wells Fargo to see our accounts, how many accounts we have, what's in the accounts, are we bankrupt, are we swimming in so much money we need to figure out what to do with. As of this week on Monday and Tuesday, Mr. Barnes was able to go to Wells Fargo and get access to the accounts, at least get us another, I believe Rodney, access to the accounts. This should be a simple process at this point, and my motion would be that we grant the mayor to have access to minimally the CO portal so he's able to see our accounts.
Second.
Mr. Stamps.
For.
Ms. Taylor
4.
and Ms. Branch.
Four.
The motion carries. Let's move on to agenda item number 11. Discussion and possible action regarding a request to amend section 40-172A, a code of the ordinance to allow Black Panther Transportation, Inc. to allow through commercial vehicles on South Street between Waller Avenue and Otto.
Well, I know we got an email last time that they asked to be moved to this one, and where's Justin?
On the screen somewhere. I think he's supposed to be on the screen.
Okay. Oh, he's on. He dropped off. Justin, can you hear us? Oh. All right. Go ahead with you. How for Justin?
Black Panther last week, transportation last
So,
week.
yeah, they called, and the guy that's supposed to be the contact for that, he had some kind of surgery, and so he needs to postpone it again.
Postpone it till next time, or he'll call and let us know.
Yeah, he'll let us know. He didn't tell me when. He just said that he just had surgery. That's all he told me. So we can skip this item.
Okay, we'll just table that till later. Ms. Glover, did you get that? We're going to just table this one till later. Agenda item number 12, discussion and possible action regarding resolution 1403, a resolution regarding the approval of Stella Estates preliminary plats.
Justin, I think you're back on. We're on resolution 1403.
What's 1403 about? I'm calling from my car, so I don't have the agenda in front of me.
Well, let me help you out there then. It's about Stella Rose
Spates.
Estates that
Preliminary plat.
is located southwest intersection of Briarbrook Drive and Stella Road. The people weren't here last week, and I think you said.
So this one was, I think the Lata's group was told they didn't need to be on today, and I think, so they're not here for that.
So we're
So
taking.
again, it's another item that can be moved to the next agenda.
I'm gonna get to see half the Astros game. Y'all just keep on at this rate we're going. I like it.
Less than 15. Less than 15.
Okay. Table that to the next agenda. We're going to skip number 13 and move on to 14. Discussion and possible action regarding Resolution 1408, a resolution supporting Stephen F. Austin Historic Bikeway application to the Texas Department of Transportation call for projects.
Justin,
Yes, I heard that one. So this one, there was a gentleman that presented, I think, a month ago or a couple meetings ago, and he needed a resolution of support from the city
Yes.
about a proposed bikeway that was going from Katy on west. And so this is just a resolution that supports that bikeway that they can submit to the Texas Department of Transportation for, funding for their project.
Yeah. It was for a grant, I believe.
I make a motion that we accept Resolution 1408.
Second.
All right. Who
Got
wants
three
it?
of them.
Mastro's playing now, Brent.
Seconded by Hill, Neuendorf, and Taylor.
I'll give it to Miss Taylor. Mr. Stamps, your vote.
4.
Ms. Newendorf
4.
and Mr. Hill.
4.
Okay, motion carries. We move into agenda item 15, discussion and possible action regarding resolution 1409, a resolution appointing an interim city secretary.
So this is Mr. Barnes had reached out to Mr. Rodney, and Mr. Rodney responded and said his team could handle the duties of city secretary until the city found one. So this resolution is we can make Rodney like an interim city secretary if you want to do that. We can, if there's someone else in mind, you can put as an interim. That's fine, or you can not take any formal action and just have Rodney's group just do what they do until we get a city secretary to replace Ms. Harrison.
I agree with that.
Yep. I think a collaborative effort at this point between the mayor and Mr. Barnes, I think, we're on the right track.
So make that in a formal motion there.
My motion would be we do not take any action on Resolution 1409.
Second.
Strolls.
Okay, I took Ms. Newendorf. Mr. Stamps, your vote.
4.
Ms. Taylor
4.
and Ms. Branch.
For
Motion carries. Agenda item number 16, discussion and possible action regarding a reconsideration of Resolution 1372, a resolution requesting a sign variance for a proposed sign to be placed at 523 FM 359. Mr. Moore?
Justin, this was the same variance that we've already denied once in reading this. There's no difference in the first application, and I'm not sure why it appeared back with no corrections or anything. Did I read-
So yeah, the city received just a request to be on an agenda. The mayor, and it's been floating there for a while, so the mayor just said put it back on, and so we did. But again, you seen, like you just said in the packet, it was denied the first time. Nothing's changed, and so I mean, if there's no reason to change it, and council still feels the same that no variance should be granted, then I think it's pretty easy to know what we're supposed to be doing.
I make a motion that we deny Resolution 1372.
Second.
Ms. Newendorf?
4, excuse me.
Mr. Hill?
4.
And Ms. Taylor.
4.
Okay. Motion carries. Agenda item number 17, discussion regarding floodplain development requirements in the city of Brookshire. Brookshire Katie Jones.
Mayor and council, BKDD was unaware that they needed to be here for this as of yesterday afternoon. So they have no representative available, so if we can table this to the next meeting. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be.
They were supposed to, I think, come forward and talk about the supposed approvals for the
Okay.
last project that we heard.
Okay. They were unaware
Yeah,
as
so
of
Mayor
yesterday
and Council,
afternoon.
so Mayor and Council, just so you understand, when Ms. Branch, there was an item on the last agenda about, a waiver from the floodplain requirements. The motion was two parts. It was to deny the waiver, but then also to have
Two kind of near.
Gunda and BKDD at the next meeting here to explain at least just the floodplain requirements. But BKDD didn't have a representative for the meeting. And then I think Mike had talked to both BKDD and Gunda and told them we could put this on the next agenda.
At Miss Branch, boy, I tell you.
So we'll table this to the next agenda,
So
correct?
this, we just need to ensure staff
And he was
sends
trying to
out
say, but I
notice of the next meeting.
Ms. Glover, you'll make sure that y'all
Linked on the name from BKDD.
let BKDD know that they need to attend the next regular city council meeting.
Okay. Agenda item number 18, update on the status of the animal shelter structure. Ms. Neuendorf.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to ask, I don't, if, can you hear me, Justin? We're wanting to know an
I can.
update on the animal shelter building. Have we received any interest in purchasing the structure?
Has it been put out for interest?
Has it been put out, I guess, for interest? I'm not sure what the status is on that. So that's what I'm seeking is status.
I don't know.
I would almost guarantee that it's not been advertised.
So,
Anywhere.
yes, if the question is to me, no, I don't know. I mean, I think that when we left it, the way the resolution was done is to have, the mayor post that, and then we get, or mayor or designee post it, and then depending on the responses we get, make a decision if we want to sell it or just repurpose it for some reason. I haven't heard anything.
I'd like to make a motion that we direct Mike Barnes to direct city staff to advertise the sale of the animal shelter structure in the Waller County Times newspaper, Craigslist.
Katie
and-
Times? No? Oh, throwing out an option. I didn't realize that was a bad option. My apologies.
Moving forward.
Second.
Ms. Taylor, you second?
She said no.
I'm so sorry.
No.
I'll explain later.
Okay.
Why no?
Mr. Stamps?
4.
Boy.
So that wasn't as subtle as I meant for it to be.
My apologies to say no, it was not.
Ms. Hill.
4.
My vote's 4.
Yes, ma'am, I got your vote. Okay. Motion carries, and we are on the agenda item number 19, update regarding the building at 910 Gresham Road, formerly used by the volunteer fire department. Ms. Neuendorf.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So I know that we've discussed in several meetings regarding utilities that are continuing to be paid for on this building. I know that the building does house, from what I understand, still some vehicular assets that we were required to carry insurance on as long as we were in possession of them. So my question for council and for the city is, what is the ultimate goal of this building and the assets that do reside within the building? If they're not going to be used in any type of foreseeable future, then I wonder if it would be the best interest of the city to dispose of those assets and to try to recoup some of the loss that we're experiencing on a monthly basis with the continued overhead and the bills and the responsibility of those things, and potentially pursue whether that be a fire department or some other, agreement with Waller County later on down the road as our city grows.
Ms. Neuendorf, I've taken it upon myself since it keeps on lingering along
Well, if I
to
could
reach
make
out to,
one point, council already approved to dispose of those assets. It just hasn't been
Which
done.
ones?
So Ms. Branch has taken the initiative here.
and the gentleman will be here on November the 15th. I would like to ask for the council to pay for his travel here, the inventory list that he makes, and then he also brokers to different fire departments, different fire trucks.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're just parted out, sometimes they sell as whole, and hire Mr. Redden to do this. And if the council approves, then we'll keep that meeting for November the 15th. He's traveling from Abilene.
I move to approve the travel expenses for the broker to dispose of the assets on November 15th.
Second.
Are we able to do that on this item? Since it's just an update item? I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm in support of it, but are we in some gray area?
You're messing up the Astros game.
Just asking the question.
Mr. Pruitt, would you mind clarifying?
Well, we're supposed to get a,
Mr. Pruitt, can we take action on that or not?
It should be just an update item, I think. I can't, does the agenda say discussion and action, or does it say any kind of action on it, or is it just a straight update?
Update.
update.
So can we?
Yeah, then just put it on the next agenda for
Have it
action.
as a future agenda item.
Or,
then?
I mean, or
Resolution.
since it's just an update item, I think some of that stuff can be, instead of taking action on it formally, if you just kind of direct the mayor to do that, a lot of that is in the mayor's wheelhouse to either he do it or direct Mike Barnes to do it. And so it should be good without having to take formal action.
According to our previous meeting, as long as his expenses are less than $2,500, it's not even action required by council.
Right, so Mayor, I direct you to direct Mayor Pro Tem Branch to meet with Mr. Redden on November the 15th to do inventory on these fire trucks.
Do you have, time?
Well,
Maybe.
Okay.
Have your people get with her people.
And then at that point in time, once the assets are removed, is it the pleasure of the council to ultimately look at disposing of the building as well? Selling the real estate property, or
No. They'll probably keep the property.
for?
Something. They might need it. But hopefully I would like to see the fire trucks done something with it, possibly sold. They're not doing us no good and nobody else no good, just sitting there.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, they're sitting there. They're going to deteriorate just sitting there, and we're continuing to pay
Let's
insurance.
think about the land at a little bit later.
Okay. So,
It could be a new park, maybe. Dog.
agenda item number 20, discussion and possible action regarding resolution number 1399, a resolution adopting a policy requiring city meeting packets to be made available by the time of posting of the council meeting agenda. Mr. Hill.
Pretty straightforward. We need to be able to have time to review our packets before we walk into this meeting. So my motion would be to support Resolution 1399.
Mr. Hill, originally your motion was to include the phrase, there also posted online, that's been dropped from that perspective here on the agenda.
That should be on there. By law, we're supposed to do it both simultaneous, on the door and online. Supposed to be. That's kind of why I threw it in there last time, but I do, with that amendment made to it, that would be my motion.
Second.
Yes, ma'am.
For this to be done, is there a certain day and time?
So,
We used to get them on Friday evenings. The week prior, we should have had the packet last Friday for this meeting for today. So that gave the council Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, a week ahead, 6 days ahead of time. So the Friday before
The meeting.
meeting,
This day is the Friday to make package
yes.
Mm-hmm.
without any changes that are deadline or time. 'Cause
There,
if we get it this morning and then someone comes back and change something, so.
what we couldn't, the mayor could make an amendment as late as 7 o'clock on Monday evening, but very seldom, and we'd like to keep it that way, that there's no amendments made to the agenda, and it is as stands on that Friday when it's posted. And if we have the packet, even though if there was an amendment made, Kim Branch wants to build a Burger King, you would just have to amend the agenda and then write whatever Kim Branch decided why she wanted to, separately from the regular package. Does that sound simple enough?
Okay, I got Mr. Hill's motion, Ms. Branch second. Mr. Stamps, your vote.
4.
Newendorf
4.
and Ms. Taylor.
4.
Okay, motion carries. Do what?
should be implemented as of the passage of this resolution.
Okay, agenda item number 21, the discussion and possible action regarding resolution number 1406, a resolution authorizing the posting of a request for proposal for permitting code enforcement software. Mr.
So, Mayor, Council, we've kind of heard some of our issues with permitting, not so much code enforcement, with permitting especially, in the last several months. What I'd like to see us do is look at going to a software-based system where everything's consistent, where if you have multiple employees, everybody has to follow the SOP. It's not going to get changed because somebody wants to do this spreadsheet or that spreadsheet. I think it would be a big benefit for us. It would almost act as almost a part-time employee in some ways, because you can queue up a lot of the citation letters and a lot of the stuff that automatically goes out. It could automatically be filtered out to people's inboxes instead of an employee having to physically print stuff all the time. So this resolution is just to go out for proposals. There are a few companies I have spoken to, but we need kind of formal action that says we are interested in doing this. And if y'all are, I will move forward with getting some of those proposals put together, meeting with our permitting and code enforcement staff so that they can demo the two options that I've looked at and figure out which one may work the best for us so we can be more efficient on the permitting and code enforcement side.
I second that motion.
Mr. Stamps, your vote.
4.
Ms. Newendorf
4.
and Ms. Taylor.
4.
Before we go any further, let's skip back to agenda item number 13. Is discussion and possible action regarding the carport structure located at 3719 US Highway 90. You got something you want to say, Mr. Daddy? Duncan?
Yes, please do.
Mr. Daddy.
My apologies. So, being out in the hottest months, of course, since I started June, July, August, September, 100 degrees and up. Had a couple customers passing out. Luckily, had some EMT from Pattison in line to help, help those individuals. But I had a couple pop-up tents, and they were working okay, but either the strong winds or the thunderstorms, or people were getting wet as well. And where I'm located, the sun is literally just sets right on the building that I'm at. And our food trucks out there, so I got a carport put up. It's safe, it's sound, it was from a good company. I didn't know I had to have a permit, so to get that installed and put up, and once the city inspector came out and he checked it out, I said, hey, you need to go down to the city and get your permit. And so I actually went right away, filled out the paperwork for it, kind of a delay on that, and then it kind of just went from one thing to another where even fines were being put in place and so forth. So it's not it's not fixed to the building, it's just in the ground. And I even paid extra to have them put the 500-mile-an-hour wind bolts down into it. So, I mean, it's an investment I made for my company and for my customers, just to keep them out of the rain, the sun, while they're waiting in line. I mean, the popularity of our place is already getting built up around towns from Sealy and, like I said, Pattison, Fulshire, Simonton, Katy definitely coming out. So the line starts to build up, and there's really nowhere there for them to stand but in the sun or in the rain in that case. And if it rains, then I don't make any money that day. And barbecue, you have to cook overnight. It's a whole big deal, food costs and everything. So it actually kind of helped me, keep, stay above water a little bit, just having that extra little thing. But as far as city code goes, I understand. I mean, I should have come down and, spoke with someone first about it and went through the right way to do it. I have all the paperwork for the building if anyone needs it. As far as like specs go, who built it, so forth. And
We got 3 problems. First, he didn't come for the permit. That was,
yes, ma'am.
then if he had came for the permit, city staff could have told you there's ordinance 98-314-7 that no manufactured home or accessory structure such as a refuge container, carport, cabana, awning, fence, or a storage locker shall be permitted within 10 feet of a private or public street or the boundary, and it goes on and on and on. This awning, it's all against, Tim should have gave you the ordinance, is what should have happened.
Yeah, I
So,
think I'm definitely past the 10 feet clearance of the street and
what
on
it says,
both
no
sides.
awnings is allowed.
Oh,
Very
okay.
paragraph.
I just noticed that all the other food trucks, taco trucks that are in Brookshire all have carports. And I'm not sure the process that they went through. They even have seating underneath. I don't have seating. It's basically just for people to be in line. But yeah, if I would have known that, then I probably would have tried to do a different direction, maybe just got an awning off my food truck, like
Then-
you see a camper or something, but.
Then this probably doesn't, this does affect you, but it doesn't affect you directly. There's also a parking space ordinance.
Okay.
And to have a building, you have to have X amount of parking spaces per square feet of the building. So now, Ms. Cruz Turner has, I think we're up to 7 places now, Bloomin' 90s, the Book Lady,
Smokers.
the Smokers. Mr. Cruz Turner has an office in there,
Well, it's
a couple of other ones.
yeah,
So-
2 companies in the building and I'm on the outside, basically.
There's
Right.
more than two inside the building.
Oh,
There's,
is there? I didn't know.
there's multiple that are advertising themselves on One Brookshire
Oh,
pretty frequently.
okay.
And from what we understand as a council, those businesses were not disclosed on things like their water district application.
As far
Things
as
like
their,
that.
Well, I
even
think there
their,
was a smoker company there that, before I even got there, building pits.
Yeah, there's Bloomin' 90 in the front.
Yeah.
There's, I know, of at least 3 separate office spaces in the back. Now there's a nutrition company, and then the smokers also in the back. So that's 5 on the interior. And then whenever you operate, you would make 6. And then we know that there have been a snow cone place that have been invited out on those weekends as well, but that snow cone place has not come before council for permitting.
Yeah, and I actually reached out to them because someone reached out to me from the city, so I just let them know, hey, if you're gonna be in town, because I think they may have thought it was Harris County. Like, I didn't even know when I first came out here to Brookshire, I thought I was still in Harris County. Found out I was in Waller County, so went through the steps. So they probably thought the same. They did like a 2-3 hour pop-up and then left, but I let them know they needed a permit. I mean, as far as I know, inside, they're doing Bloomin' 90 shop, but she's consignment, so there's other businesses, I think, that
well,
pay monthly to.
that's really not your concern.
Yeah.
But all of those businesses has to have, let's just pretend that it's 3 parking spaces per business.
Okay.
It really goes by the square footage. I'm
Of the
sorry, I
building.
got sidetracked today with something a little bit more important and didn't pull that ordinance.
No problem, yeah.
Because that awning is there and the food truck, and now we got all those smokers in the back. She doesn't even have enough parking spaces for the businesses, 3 of the businesses that's there,
So
so,
you don't consider the street in the front and then going all the way down?
yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
But I'm counting 6 or 7 businesses. That's not 21 parking spaces.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but that's not yours, that's gonna be on her certificate of occupancy, which, I'm not understanding. If you don't understand the rules and regulations of the city of Brookshire, why someone doesn't call or come up here and ask before they do
Well,
this?
even when I got here, I tried to look on the website, I couldn't really find it, it wasn't very,
There,
I mean,
there's
it's
a,
just not like it just, I'm looking, I'm like carports, and
There-
it's a lot of,
it's called Municode. And it's,
if you're new to Brookshire, because I don't really live in Brookshire, I live in
well,
Katy, it's kinda
that,
hard to.
our number's 375-5050. I bet you if you call and ask for somebody in permits, they could tell you or have Tim call you back.
Yeah, and I'm not one to like kind of go against the city or try to break any rules or do it just blatantly, like I'm gonna do what I want. But as soon as I found out that, hey, you need a permit to have this carport, I try to take the steps
Well,
to get it done.
You don't even have to have a permit to have the carport, 'cause you can't have a carport according to Ordinance 98-314-7. Justin, do you disagree with me? And there's also another ordinance 2-24-1998. So this ordinance
So
has
the
been.
city inspector that checked it out said it was fine. He didn't see anything wrong with it. Why, how come his word goes against what you're saying?
I'd love to discuss his employment with you, but I think that would be very
But I
unprofessional
would think that
and
he
not.
knows the rules more than anybody else if
Well,
that's his job out doing
he's
it.
a new hire, sir, and I readily, once I realized that this
You were
lovely,
against me having my food truck in the first place, so I get why you don't want it up there, but
I
you
don't
know,
want it up, I don't,
it's not really for me, it's for my
Right.
customers, so they can be out of the 100-degree weather and the thunderstorms that come through here so often. That's all it is. And if for me to take it down, it's gonna be over $1,000, and they can't just do it overnight. I have to get on schedule with them to come out. They have to be able to take it down. I had to pay another $1,000 just for them to take it down. And then what? It makes me not even wanna be here anymore. I'll just move back to Katy, and then y'all can have an empty parking lot. That Bloomin' 90, they don't get any business there. I don't even know how they're even keeping their doors open, honestly. The smoker shop's already looking for a bigger space. You're gonna have an empty big old building over there that maybe somebody else with a lot of money can come renovate and open up. Or you can keep me there and I can make it into a restaurant one day. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to you wanna throw a fine on me for the building, I get it, I can do that. But I mean, 10 feet is definitely, cause I know I can fit
You could ask,
2 Suburbans before you even get to my
you could
carport.
ask for a variance to be on the next agenda and see if the council will overlook their own city ordinance that I've quoted twice now to you,
I
that
mean,
there
that'd be
is no
great. I mean, even
carports.
tonight, I didn't know I was supposed to be here, and I got a call, and I was in the middle of getting my daughter from
Well,
school. and
I'm sorry that
I mean, it's
Tim-
I'm not complaining about that, but you know,
you were supposed to be last week, and I thought that whatever Tim's last name is, I'd like to call people Mr. whatever.
no one's
Mr.
reached out to
Tim.
me and about anything, so I've just kind of been on the, standing by, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
I mean, if y'all like to give me an extension, I'd appreciate it. I mean, if we can try to come out to some kind of agreement where it can stay up, and I mean, that's basically what all it's for. Cause if you've ever been out there, you know that sun is just beating on you the whole time, and we can only move so fast. And I just, I don't think it's an ugly building, I don't think it's like an eyesore when you're driving by, and like I said, I can't just take it down like by tomorrow. I literally have to get on their list, and they gotta send a crew out, and I gotta pay over $1,000 just for them to take it down. And then it's kinda like, it goes back to me having little pop-up tents that don't stay up through the weekend, and it's just, I don't know. I think it looks nicer than it did before, but it's just,
just against the city ordinance, that's all I'm saying. The
but I
rest
see
of the
all the other
council-
food trucks have them, so I don't know how they were able, and they're on the main road coming in, and they're not as nice as the one I have. I mean, they're smaller, mine's actually, good quality one.
What was the date of enforcement of that?
I was just about to ask that. When was
That
that
code.
ordinance passed? Does it have a date on there?
98. Actually, February the 24th, 1998. It's
Yep.
Section 2401, location of manufactured homes and accessory structures. And it says here, carports and cabanas and awnings are not allowed.
Okay.
I mean, it's in plain writing.
Would you be okay with tabling this? I'd like Tim to give us a report of all the structures that have this. 'Cause if we're gonna force it for one, it needs to be enforced for all.
Works for
I mean,
me.
if we're gonna go that route, you know what I mean? So,
I agree.
if we can table this to next time to see that, take a look at the ordinance and then go from there.
Also,
Now-
just to let y'all know that, me and Mr. Barnes did sit down and have a talk to him and, about it, and we agreed to let him have it up until he comes
Council
before
takes
the
action.
council.
Yeah, I mean, if I gotta take it down, there's nowhere else to get around it, but it kinda makes me not wanna stay around,
Yeah.
And I've
So-
seen what I've been bringing to the city. I mean, it's not like, I'm bringing really, nice people out, their families, and,
So, do you actually own it, or is it,
I own it,
The
yeah,
shop
the
that owns it?
carport.
Okay.
I paid cash for it,
Okay.
it was expensive, and if I would've known there was a process, I would've done that. And I know it's good to make me as an example, cause everybody's driving by, they're like, oh, well, he has this big new carport, and I can't get mine, so
Yeah.
I totally understand, that's why I was like,
but you do have a fair point that there's other structures, so we need to take a look at all of them if we're gonna do it.
And after the meeting, I'll tell you what the difference in his structure is and that
Sure.
structure, but this is,
well, I would like to know what the difference is, I mean, since we're here, I mean.
most of them are attached to the food truck itself.
Okay,
It's a awning and it goes up and it can be removed. What I'm worried about, same thing with that billboard that we seen to have voted for over a year ago that we can't get the person to take down.
but
A
we're talking
hurri-
about these same
A
green ones,
hurricane and a
don't we?
tornado comes along, well, Daddy Duncan is going to be in somebody else's yard. It ain't gonna stay there,
No, I
I
got
can tell you
500
that.
mile an hour wind bolts put down in that carport that I can show y'all that's made it so secure, it's not going anywhere. The food truck will fly off before that carport, that's how secure that thing is into the ground. And those bolts that they put in are about like 10 feet, 10, 12 feet or more.
We've ate from your place, so I didn't want you to feel like
Oh, no, and
just
that's what I'm
because
saying.
I
I've seen the
didn't
mayor out,
vote
I've seen
for
the-
your food truck. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't vote for this, and I'm not giving you a hard time because I don't like Daddy Duncan. I'm going by what the rules and regulations of the city of Brookshire is.
But I mean, is there any kind of like, can we come to kind of like a meet me in the middle kind of thing, if it's a matter of
So I think that's,
pay a fine because you didn't get the permit first?
so I think that's what Mr. Hill is saying, is that we would like to hear from Tim, because to your point, there are other food trucks in the area that have the carport structures that look very similar. And so I think that we as council need to have a comprehensive report that we can look at and compare them. The other point, though, that Ms. Branch was making is that you could always apply for a variance to this ordinance. And if council agrees to approve that variance, then that is the meet me in the middle
Okay.
answer to it. Now, I mean, I think maybe it's a matter of personal opinion as to whether or not it's an eyesore. I personally don't think it's as aesthetically pleasing, but I also just think that the collection of businesses that seem to have accumulated in the parking lot of the building is a part of what makes it not aesthetically pleasing.
Well, I know they do some like market days, they'll have one Saturday.
I'm familiar. I'm actually the one that started those.
Okay, yeah, so they're still trying to run that, like I said.
Before it was
Probably-
gifted to them, and then it was changed, and then I've noticed that on the Facebook page, the handle's been changed as well now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I
Then
mean, they're
once
doing-
again, we're back at the parking space city ordinance.
They're just trying to do anything to keep their doors open, basically. I mean,
Well,
that's one of the reasons, I guess, they have me there anyway.
No, I understand, and I think that council's probably gathered that information by, I've had conversations with Mr. and Mrs. Cruz Turner before about the location, and I think continuing to sublet, because it's essentially what's happening is subletting spaces. And I,
You mean within inside the vintage shop itself?
yes.
Oh, okay.
yes,
There's like one lady selling pottery, so that's a business, another lady selling.
right.
Okay.
And I would imagine that HDM Smokers is also paying some sort of rent in order to operate in the back. If they're running
Yeah,
220 machines, I can imagine they're paying something, because
And boy.
I'm
if
aware
we
of what
had-
the electricity cost of a welding shop is.
Yeah, I'm sure, I mean, I don't know that side of it, but I'm sure they're not just there for free.
Exactly. And so I think that's,
And once
my concern.
again, when Mr. Cruz Turner started this, Ms. Green, I hate to put you in the middle of this, but I'm gonna go ahead and drag you right on in.
she looks cautious,
It was going
to be one
to be
business.
one business because the
For their water district application
wanted
said one
them
business.
to have separate meters for each business that was there, and they was like, "Oh no, it's gonna be one business, and Ms.
Yep.
Green can attest to.
We're aware, Ms. Green.
There's
You know, just to give you all a heads up, I believe the smoker company's already kind of looking for a new spot.
They are.
I don't know how long the vintage shop's gonna last. I mean, if they wanna turn it into something bigger with me, I might, think of that, or, I don't know, that's kind of, delusional, but it's a possibility, but, maybe it's because the carport's a bright red, but I don't know. Kinda went with that 'cause it's barbecue, but, But I'm willing to work
I
with
get
y'all,
it.
whatever y'all need. I mean, even if it means just kind of trying to go through the variants, like you said, and.
I think let's start with step one. Let's hear from Tim, and then we'll kind
Yeah,
of know the
Tim seemed
direction.
Pretty cool about it. He's like, man, it's sound, it's safe, it looks good, it's not attached to the building,
I don't know.
that sort of thing.
I don't know if he had
but-
the authority to say that, but I
Well,
don't think he
yeah.
did.
I mean, he was just being.
I think
was
he,
like-
I think he can evaluate the structure into whether or not it was properly installed, but I don't think he had the authority to say that it was allowed.
But if
Yeah,
you'll-
no, he didn't say it was actually allowed. He said,
Yeah.
hey, you gotta go down and get a permit. So he was just saying, I was like, well, what's going on? I can't have this.
If you'll bring to city staff in the next couple of days, that 500 mile per hour wind rating, that kind of stuff, so we
Okay.
have that at our disposal
Mhm.
when we're making a decision.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I
That
can
would
do that, like, just email over.
You could email it over. I'm sure one of them will give you their card
Okay.
or their information on your way out. Send it over to them.
Well, so right now, just kind of wait until.
Carry
Next
on for
meeting.
now.
On everything else. Okay, sounds good. Hope to see y'all again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your understanding.
number
22.
22.
Okay, agenda item number 22, discussion and possible action regarding resolution 1407, a resolution adopting a policy setting the highest level of reimbursement for city staff on a personal cell phone to be equal or less than the average price per line that the city of Brookshire pays to Verizon Wireless. Mr. Hill.
Mayor and council, we kind of discussed this, I believe, briefly last time. There's a couple of phones that we reimburse individual employees for at sometimes 3 and 4 times the rate that we're paying for our existing lines of service. Most of the time, we're not getting full bills, so we know what exactly we're paying for either. I'd like to see us adopt a policy via this resolution that would establish that the highest level of reimbursement would be the average of what we're paying per line, which is roughly $40 a month right now per line, tax, title, license out the door. With the caveat that a full cell phone bill must be provided in order to be reimbursed.
Say that, I'm just asking a hypothetical question. Say that a city employee was getting reimbursed and they decided, well, they don't want $40. Then will we get them a city cell phone?
I mean, I personally don't see why we're reimbursing to begin with. But if that, I don't know who came up with that policy and how that policy started or when that started. To me, it would make more sense that a city employee, if they need a city phone to be contacted by the mayor or whatever, has a city device. But yes, I mean, we got plenty of lines of service that are sitting unused at this moment, so it shouldn't be an issue to do that.
Have we identified all the cell phones that we're paying
No, ma'am.
lines on?
No, ma'am.
Well, could you make that part of your motion of that $40?
To identify each line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
I'll amend that motion to include identification of each line.
Second.
The stamps your vote.
4.
Ms. Newendorf.
4.
Ms. Taylor. Ms. Taylor.
4.
Okay, motion carries. Agenda item number 23, discussion and possible action regarding invoice payments and reports.
Is this the only one that we received?
I didn't even get that one.
Well, the only thing that I have is from Double Oak Erosion. It says a quote date of August 25th, 2022. This was the only other thing that was included in my box. But I also received a bunch of different pieces of mail today.
No, that's for,
Thank you, Miss Green.
that's for something else.
Okay. No, I'm saying thank you because you actually handed me a bunch of envelopes that I haven't received every time I've come up here in the last couple of months.
That's the
There was an
only thing.
invitation to something that happened 2 months ago.
So are we going to start getting reports from,
Department heads.
yes,
Huh? I think you're the only one that supplied them
I
to
know.
us.
I had,
He said, let me be quiet then.
I spoke with you and the chief about it, and, so,
Well, you were getting
I,
reports,
yeah, but right
I-
now,
I
I'm kinda
haven't.
tied up with some stuff, and as soon as
I
kinda
haven't
slows
seen
down, I
reports
wanna
forever.
start doing it again, like on a Monday morning, and, see what's going on. Okay, Where are we? Oh,
Last
the
week,
20.
at last week's meeting, the special meeting under invoices and agenda items, there were a number of items that were requested from the police department to provide reports on as far as cell phone bills, et cetera. Has that been?
That has
It's
been
been worked on.
It is being worked on. Chief Miller
Identified quite a bit.
jumped right to it the next morning. So, yes, sir, it's been
I
looked
think
at.
he lost sleep that night, but don't tell him I said.
Any further discussion?
I've seen some preliminary things that have been identified, but I think he's still looking into it to answer your question.
Motion?
We don't have anything to view, so I don't
Except
see
for
how
the
we can
one.
approve
Did you
anything.
get one?
I'm sorry?
Then you just got one?
No, but this, I don't think this even pertains to this meeting because this is from a double oak erosion and this has a quote date of August 25th, 2022. But like I said, this was, whenever Miss Green handed me my stuff today, this was kind of sitting on top with a lot of other things. So this very well could have been from August because there was a couple of other envelopes in there also from August.
Okay.
So I don't think that we can make a motion to approve anything that we haven't seen, not in good faith anyhow.
Well, do, no action. Let's move to agenda item number 24. Request for future agenda items. Mr. Stamps.
I don't have any, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, they're working on
Like if somebody reached out to me, so, because they think I'm over, so,
it.
who is like,
Whoever
Ms.
was in-
Neuendorf?
Vince? That's me.
I have, I think, maybe two, maybe. Discussion and possible action regarding the ongoing lease with Brookshire Youth Sports League with the submission of a financial report to council on or before October 31st, 2022.
Second,
You said October, what, 31st?
31st, yes, sir. That is in effect 10 days. I believe their lease requires a minimum of 7 days' notice.
Okay, your second one?
No, maybe 3.
Second.
No, I'm.
Oh, you do both of them.
Miss Branch
Kim
seconded
did.
it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Kim
These are
seconded.
agenda items.
we didn't vote for it yet.
Request for future agenda items, and Miss Branch seconded it.
You don't got
Because
it.
if we vote on it, then it
Okay,
has to
I
be
got
on
you,
them.
I got you.
You swear to God.
I was doing good for
I
a minute
know.
there. You just,
Well, you, that's when you was whispering.
yeah.
Taylor. It's up here, I don't know.
Ms. Branch, you seconded, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, the
Mr.
Astros are
Stamps.
still playing without me.
Well, never mind.
What'd you say?
Nothing. Mr. Hill
They
I'll
are.
tell you a little later.
and Ms. Taylor.
4.
Okay, motion carries. Come on, Mr. Neuendorf.
And now I'm all flustered. I forgot what my second one was going to be. I was in the middle of writing it too. Never mind. I guess that'll be it for now. Unless I can remember it in a second.
Mr. Hill?
Discussion and possible action, declaration in support of Waller County's 150th celebration and Brookshire's participation on the 22nd of April. Or Brookshire's hosting on the 22nd of April. That's how that should read.
On April 22nd.
April 22nd, 2023.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe it's almost 2023.
Okay. We have a motion,
I say second.
you second.
Second by Ms. Taylor.
Okay, Mr. Stamps?
4.
Ms. Branch?
Or
Mr. Hill.
Discussion possible action, setting a date for a workshop to review the 2020 comprehensive plan and set strategies.
Setting the date. For what? Setting a date for what?
To review the 2020 comprehensive plan and set strategies.
Second. Oh, I remember what it was.
Mr. Stamps.
For.
Ms. Taylor.
For.
And Ms. Branch.
For.
Okay, Mr. Hill, any more?
Sir.
Ms. Taylor.
Question, Ms. Randolph. The event for Christmas.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody reached out to me,
Yes, ma'am, I saw.
so, I need to know who's on the committee, so, well, I know who's on the committee, but that person, he was
Yes, ma'am.
wanna-
All the
So
names,
Are y'all doing, are we doing anything?
So evidently I'm heading it up.
Oh, okay, so,
and all the names for the committee were actually sent to Ms. Glover today. I sent them to you, didn't I? Yes, ma'am, okay.
And I
Um,
believe she's gonna send it to me, and then I'll be reaching out to you.
Yes.
okay.
Set up
She was
a
gonna
brainstorming
type it up
meeting.
in a resolution.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna see.
No,
put
hopefully in
something-
the next couple days. I'll
Okay.
have that list and we can get to going
Yes,
on that.
ma'am. There are lots of eager people to
I
help
know,
you.
I
That's
know.
good. I like it.
told him we'll be getting back with him.
Absolutely. We got a lot for them to do.
Right.
Ms. Taylor.
No, that was, I need the question about that. 'cause
That's it?
Yes, but,
Ms. Branch.
Mayor, I need to ask Justin a question. Justin,
You probably asleep.
Yes, ma'am.
they betting you up there, hey, you watching the game? What's the score?
3-2.
Okay.
3-2 Astros.
I'm sitting now in my hotel room in a full suit, just focused on the meeting. So that's what I do.
Hey,
Yeah, right.
That sounds like an explanation by a lawyer. That's his story and he's sticking to it.
Okay, instead of going into executive session, should I or could I ask to appoint Judge Krennic, the head of the court department right now? After speaking to him, he said he would consider it an honor and a challenge to get the court on the right path. So could I make that? Could that?
You can
just
make that a
happen?
future agenda item.
Okay, that's my future agenda item, Mayor Branch.
What?
To appoint Judge Ted Krennic, the head of the court department. And that's all I have.
There's been a past agenda item to have a meeting between this council and the municipal water district council.
That was my one I remember.
Tony, you're really messing up the game and you're gonna start a whole lot of trouble, so
She
I'm
talked
gonna
to
tell
half
you,
an
we'll
hour a
speak.
while ago.
That was my one that I remembered.
I'm just wondering if that.
That's the second one that we scheduled, and no, it never happened.
We tried to make it happen.
Twice.
We never could have come to an agreement, so no, it hasn't happened, and
And the council's not gonna try to move forward with that.
Well, that's actually what I was trying to.
Gotta have two people to play ball.
Yeah, because one is ready, but the other one's just not coming forward.
All right, Ms. Branch, you made the motion. Did we get a second?
Second.
Ms. Taylor, second.
Oh, God.
Mr. Stamps.
For.
Ms. Newendorf
4.
and Mr. Hill.
4.
Ms. Newendorf, you thought of the second one?
I did. Funny that Mr. Tony should say that. The other, so I actually thought of two more, but they're just updates, not discussion of possible action, but update on the legal negotiations regarding the Brookshire and Pattison ETJ. Since that was supposed to be a conversation being had by our legal counsel.
Justin, loosen up your tie a little bit. Miss Neuendorf's picking on you.
And then the other one actually was the update on setting a date for a meeting between the Brookshire City Council and the Brookshire Municipal Water District. You need to get out of my brain right now. Mr. McNally?
Okay, do you have a second on this?
Second.
Mr. Stamps, your vote. Mr. Hill?
4.
And Ms. Branch?
Or
That's it, right?
Yes, sir.
That all, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Agenda item number 25, council reports and community announcement. I'll start with you, Mr. Stamps.
I don't have any at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Newendorf?
I can't provide any clarity on it, but I'll just mention it since I've seen it advertised as the City of Brookshire Halloween
Oh, yeah.
trunk or treat.
event. It looks like several different parties are going to be taking, is it going to be kind of like a drive around kind of thing like last year? Because that was so much
Yeah.
fun. My kids
No,
loved
They
it.
ain't doing it.
We're
It's-
all doing.
They
we're-
doing it same times. All three, the police department, the hangar, and there's one more. Oh, and the Patterson. Yeah, Patterson.
There's several.
Yeah.
Okay. Because last year they did like a drive around,
Yeah,
like
they-
scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they did the last time.
They not. They
Scavenger
did it
hunt.
2 years ago, two back to back, but they not doing it this year.
Oh, that was fun.
The hangar,
It's
all
excellent.
those people that participated in the scavenger hunt
Are going to be at the hangar.
going to be at the hangar.
Okay.
Officer,
I
Chief
know
Miller,
it's
you had.
like 4 to 7 or something like that. Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Go straight over there. They are not. She posted on, yeah, yeah, Miss Quenisha posted that they're not, because they're in the process of closing their business down, actually, she said, and moving. Okay. Well, if nothing else, I know that I know several of the streets, even through here, kind of east of here, usually have some pretty good trick or treating.
Yeah, Dusty, I'm trying to get out of the city council meeting to help you. Just get the toothpicks ready. I'm headed that way.
The toothpicks,
The coach
Chief
to
Miller, what time you said the hangar?
5 to 8 p.m.
he called, he needs my help.
And there was one more.
I would
The
say
the
other
PD
one
is from 4 to 5 p.m. The hangar is 5 to 8.
But they closed.
The other
one
one, the
house, so that's
STS one was
11.
canceled. At least that's what she posted on one Brookshire.
It's closed tonight, so it might not be. I'm gonna see what's going on.
She
Okay.
she posted on social media the other day that they're in the process
Moving
of
her
closing
whole
and moving to
business.
Houston.
Ms. Newendorf? Oh, you just finished.
That was it.
Mr. Hill?
None at this time.
Ms. Taylor?
Let's go Strohs. That's it.
G.O.
Yes. Fortunately, I couldn't get to the game.
Ms. Branch?
I have nothing.
Okay, are we skipping number 26, or what are we doing with this?
Yes, we are. Dusty's already called. He's hurting.
Let's go to agenda item number 27, discussion possible action regarding items discussed in executive session if needed. We're gonna skip that. And agenda item number 28, adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Stamps?
4.
Ms. Newendorf?
4.
Mr. Hill?
4.